Hi, I'm Alice Grange, also known as the Tapping Detective. And today, Francesca has agreed to work with me and work on video, and for that, I am very appreciative. Francesca is also learning to be an EFT practitioner and is doing some amazing work herself. And today, she'd like to work on a particular memory that has to do with her mother. Fair enough?
Yes.
Okay. So, Francesca, why don't you tell me the story about what happened?
Okay, so I was 14 and I'm 5'3", so I want to say that because it's important. So I'm very short and I used to play volleyball, which is not a good thing because you need to be tall usually. And I was really good. I was kind of like out of space in a way because I love the sport a lot and I kept playing. So I became the captain of my team, and that year we won the tournament because I pushed really hard and my team was good. So when it came the time to celebrate and get the cup, I am a shy person, and some people define me as empath, whatever, highly sensitive. So I just don't like to be in the spotlight, and I let one of the other people go and get the cup. I actually pushed her. I said, yeah, go get it. Because I figure we all worked hard for it, and it wasn't just my cup anyway. So
stop and take a breath.
So
stop and take a breath. And I mean a full breath, okay?
I forget to breathe.
Right. And I'm going to let you know that I'm going to be asking you to breathe quite a lot because I think breath is really important.
Oh, I agree. I agree. Okay. I get so
stop again and tell me, how are you feeling right now?
I'm feeling, I have resentment toward this story.
Okay.
I feel resentful because my mom was there and...
So stop. I just want to check in. How high is the resentment right now?
It fluctuates between a 3 and a 7.
Okay. So I'm going to ask you to continue telling the story, but again, I want you to make sure that you're taking some breaths.
Okay.
Okay. So you've just pushed somebody else to go and get the cup.
Yeah, and everybody's watching us, and I'm really hating it. And, you know, we're trying to take the picture, and I just wanted to get over it, basically. I won, I'm good, I'm done. Let's go home. Okay. Let's go celebrate. That's how I am. So anyway, I'm doing all this other stuff that I don't care about. And then afterwards, I go to my parents, who never came to watch me play. It was probably the first time. And, you know, they were happy and stuff. And then my mom looks at me and goes, yeah, but why didn't you go and get the cup yourself? You're the captain. And
take a breath.
And she was so disappointed. And she showed it to me. And I felt so angry and ashamed and guilty. All these things. I did something wrong. And inside of me, a part of me was like, but how can you say this? You should be so happy and proud of me. She was more preoccupied that in front of everybody else, I showed to be weak and I didn't go and do what a captain should do. That's what it was. She didn't get me, you know?
So stop and take a breath. So I want to check and see what you're feeling right now.
I felt betrayed when
I'm going to ask you right now. We'll go back and work on your younger self, but I'd like to know what you feel right now.
Right now, I really feel resentment.
Okay.
And sadness that she wasn't able to, you know, be a happy mom and support me and be proud of how I was, not how I should have been in her eyes. She wasn't accepting me, and that makes me, it hurts.
Yep. So let's do a sud scale on how intense the resentment is. 0 to 10, with 0 being not at all and 10 being off the charts.
It's a 7.
Okay. And where do you feel the resentment in your body?
It's in my stomach. It's my pit in the stomach always, and my chest.
Can you describe the sensations?
It's like someone punched me there.
Okay.
I have no breath, hence I'm not breathing.
So stop and take some breaths. Does that that resentment in your stomach and in your chest, does it have a color?
It's black.
Does it have a texture?
It's like smoke and ashes.
Okay.
And it's mixed with like that fog, you know, that humid, unpleasant fog, and you smell chimney.
Okay, great. Not great that you're feeling that way, but great that you're able to describe it.
I was a smoker, so that's why I feel that thing inside.
Okay.
Oh.
Okay. And is that the same feeling in both your chest and in your stomach, or is it different from one to the other?
Yeah, it's like this big black ball. That's how it appears.
Okay. Thank you for that, and take another breath. Okay, let's check in on the sadness, 0 to 10.
It's a 10.
Okay. And where do you feel that?
In my heart chakra, but stomach as well. It's kind of the same.
Is the sensation the same in your heart as the resentment, or is it different for the sadness?
I feel like the heart is just broken. Broken.
Okay. And take a breath. And is the sadness and the hurt the same, or is it different?
It's different.
Okay, what number is the hurt for starters?
The hurt is 10.
Okay. And where does it live in your body?
It's my heart.
Okay.
And my stomach. But
Okay.
not much. It's mostly my heart.
Okay. And can you describe the sensation in your heart that's the hurt?
It's broken. It's like, it's done. I'm done. That's how it feels.
Okay. Let's just do some tapping. Open up your eyes.
What more can I do? That's how it feels.
So, Francesca, I want you to open your eyes, and because I want you to look through the screen and notice that there's somebody with you.
Yeah.
Okay.
Oh, I know there's somebody with me. No worries.
I know, but I want to make sure that you notice, okay?
I know, it's better.
And do you have Kleenex or a hanky available?
Oh, I got lots. No worry.
Okay, good.
I'm super. I know I'm a crier when I work on this stuff, and I never am. I just want to say this. Enjoy it, people.
Okay.
Oh,
All right. So tapping on the side of your hand, which some people call the karate chop point, take a deep breath and repeat after me. And I want to let you know that if my words don't fit, feel free to put in whatever words make sense to you, or correct me, or whatever you want to do. This is your session, okay? All right. Even though when I think about that volleyball game.
Even though when I think about that volleyball game.
And what happened after.
And what happened after.
And what my mother said.
And what my mother said.
I feel all this hurt.
I feel all this hurt.
All this sadness.
All this sadness.
And all this resentment.
And all this resentment.
I love and accept and forgive myself.
I love and accept and forgive myself.
And take another breath. Even though I feel all this anger, hurt, and resentment.
I feel all this anger, hurt, and resentment.
And my apologies for putting in anger, because you didn't say this now. You said it before we started the recording the session.
It is. I feel that too. It's not,
okay.
Not there.
What number is your anger?
It's an 8.
Okay.
And different parts of me feel different feelings. That's the thing.
And what part feels the anger?
It's my child. My child is angry.
Okay.
My adult self is sad.
Right.
And heartbroken.
Okay. Well, we'll go back and help the child after we help the adult.
Sorry, child.
No. You
I
just
call her amygdala.
Go have a little wave and say, well, we'll be there soon. I've just gotta get myself so that I'm ready to come back and help you. Even though I feel all this resentment,
I feel all this resentment,
sadness and hurt. It's like a dark fog.
It's like a dark fog.
Filling up my heart and my stomach.
Filling up my heart and my stomach.
I'm open to the possibility.
I'm open to the possibility.
That I can let all this hurt.
That I can let all this hurt.
All this resentment.
All this resentment.
And all this sadness go.
And all this sadness go.
And take another breath.
And my heart looks like the dark is underneath, and on my heart is like an explosion, and there's black and red, and you know, like when there's an explosion and you see body parts everywhere. That's the image I have of my heart, pretty much.
Even though I've got a lot going on in my heart.
Even though I got a lot going on in my heart.
There's lots of sadness and hurt.
There's lots of sadness and hurt.
And resentment and anger.
And resentment and anger.
I choose to know I'm going to be okay.
I'm choose to think I am going to be okay, yes.
Even though
I
have all these feelings.
I have all these feelings.
Locked up in my heart and my stomach.
Locked up in my heart and my stomach.
It makes it hard to breathe.
It makes it hard to breathe.
It feels black and humid.
Black and humid, yeah. Ugh.
And it smells like a chimney.
It smells like a chimney, yeah. Not the nice one.
No.
Nice no.
It reminds me of when I was a smoker.
Yeah, it reminds me of when I was a smoker.
It's like a big black ball.
It's like a big black ball.
I choose to love, accept, and forgive myself for having these feelings.
I choose to love and accept and forgive myself for having these feelings.
And take a breath. Okay, start tapping on the top of your head. And for those folks that are new to me, I tap on some spots that some people don't tap on. So just follow along if you wish. All this anger.
All this anger.
Take a breath. All this hurt.
All this hurt.
All this resentment.
All this resentment.
And all this sadness.
And all this sadness.
Then going to the third eye. I'm open to the possibility.
I'm open to the possibility.
That I can let some of this go today.
That I can let all of this go today.
Above the nose.
I changed that. I didn't do it.
I'm willing to let this all go today.
I'm willing to let this all go today.
Side of the eye. I've had it long enough.
I've had it long enough. It's 40 years, people.
Yeah. I've been holding on to this for 40 years.
I've been holding on to this for, okay, it's 30 years. I can't do math, but it's still a long time.
And I'm open to the possibility.
And I'm open to the possibility.
That I don't have to hold on to it for another 30 years.
And I don't have to hold on to this for another 30 years. No.
All this resentment.
All this resentment.
That's been sitting in my heart and my stomach.
It's been sitting in my heart and my stomach.
Take a deep breath. And then below the collarbones, I'm willing to let at least some of it go today.
I'm willing to let at least some of it go today.
And then on your breastbone, on your heart chakra.
Oh, hold on. I was going to the wrong one.
All this sadness in my heart.
All this sadness in my heart.
All this hurt in my heart.
All this hurt in my heart.
And then underneath your nipples, underneath your breast, just rubbing on the liver spot there, the anger spot. All this anger I've been carrying around.
All this anger I've been carrying around.
It hasn't helped me.
Hasn't helped me, no.
And it hasn't really helped anybody.
And it hasn't really helped anybody.
So maybe it's time to let it go.
So it's time to let it go.
Underneath your armpits, all this anger and resentment.
All this anger and resentment.
This sadness and this hurt.
This sadness and this hurt.
I give myself permission to let it go.
I give myself permission to let it go.
And then just behind the ears, sort of on your skull, just tapping like that. I deserve to let it go.
Do we have to do it on both sides simultaneously? Is it better?
You absolutely don't. No.
That's what I was wondering. That's really nice.
Yeah.
It feels so good around here.
It does. It's very soothing. It's also from Eden Energy Medicine. You can also go like this. If you're feeling really stressed, this is a really good thing to do.
This is so funny because I used to do that to myself all the time when I was stressed. I would pat myself.
I think that's how the Chinese medicine practitioners first learned this sort of thing, is because they would be going, oh my God, or oh my God, you know, like
yes,
whatever, putting their hands on their heart. And I think that that's how it evolved. Anyway, take a deep breath and let's check in. Resentment, what number is it now?
It's 5.
Sadness.
9.
Hurt.
9. 9, 10. 9, 10. That one is hard.
Okay, and the anger.
5.
Okay. So I want you to notice that the anger's gone from an 8 to a 5.
Oh yeah, I know. That's
Okay.
not the biggest problem anymore for me.
So top of the head. Okay. All these remaining feelings.
All these remaining feelings.
All this sadness because of what happened.
All this sadness because of what happened.
Moving down to the third eye. All this sadness.
All this sadness.
This sadness in my heart.
The sadness in my heart.
All the meanings I've given to this incident.
All the meanings I've given to this incident. Oh yeah.
Underneath the eye. All the ways I think it means something about me.
All the ways it means something about me. That's what I think, yeah.
Underneath the nose. All the stories I tell myself.
All the stories I tell myself.
About what this incident means.
About what this incident means. Yes.
I'm open to the possibility.
I'm open to the possibility.
That I can tell myself a different story.
That I can tell myself a different story.
A more empowered story.
A more empowered story.
And take a breath.
And something just came up too.
Which was?
That all this throughout my life made me feel like my whole mom and dad never looked at my skills as skills, but more as something not important. So right now, the way I feel it today is how every time, if I do something in the coaching, the healing, the courses, she never recognizes that. She says, oh, great, and never even goes to really watch them, and she has no interest in what I do. So it's like unimportant to them. Just like a volleyball was to them. It was not important. It wasn't something they cared about, you know, so, and to me, it was one of my things. Like, I wished I could have gone to play for the national team. So,
Even though when that happened, it felt like I wasn't important.
I felt like I wasn't important.
To my parents.
To my parents.
I choose to know.
I choose to know.
That whether or not my parents are able to see it.
That whether or not my parents are able to see it.
I am important.
I am important.
And take a breath. Even though when this happened.
Even though when this happened.
When I was 14.
When I was 14.
I decided it meant that I wasn't important.
I decided it meant I wasn't important. And that my skills weren't skills.
Yeah. I'm open to the possibility.
I'm open to the possibilities.
That this incident with my mom.
that this incident with my mom
says a whole lot more about her
says a lot more about her
than it does about me.
than it does about me.
And that it's time I started telling myself a different story.
Yeah, it's time. There you go. The sadness comes up.
Yeah. Okay. Top of the head, all this sadness.
All this sadness.
For all the ways.
For all the ways.
I've been letting this incident around the cup.
I've been letting this incident around the cup.
Inform how I feel about myself.
Inform how I feel about myself.
Take a breath. All this sadness.
All this sadness.
And all this hurt.
And all this hurt.
I'm open to the possibility.
I'm open to the possibility.
I can let go of some more of it now.
I can let go of some of it now.
All this sadness and hurt.
All this sadness and hurt, just go away.
Maybe I have more control than I think.
Maybe I have more control than I think.
Maybe I have more power than I think.
Maybe I have more power than I think.
Maybe my mother is too wounded.
Maybe my mother is too wounded.
To be able to see me for who I am.
To be able to see me for who I am.
And for all of my skills and talents.
And for all my skills and talents. I feel like they've stunted me more than anything.
Yeah. This feeling stunted.
I feel stunted, yeah.
Yeah. Yeah. All this hurt underneath the underneath your nipples, all this hurt.
That one feels so good. You know, she has liver failure right now, like she has cirrhosis. So my liver has been feeling her pain. So this
is your mother a big drinker?
Oh God, no. That's the fun part. She just had 3 different hepatitis, and B and C weren't treated because if you don't know you have them, they don't check for it because usually you don't get them. But back in Europe, you know, transfusion weren't checked 40 years ago. So over time, the Hep C has destroyed their liver. So we are working on it, but yeah, I feel it in my body. Okay. And I'm displaying, like, you know, stuff since she started. Like I'm sympathizing.
Beneath the armpits. I am not my mother.
I'm not my mother, no.
Behind the ears. I am not my mother.
I'm not my mother.
I don't have hepatitis C.
No, I don't have hepatitis C.
But I don't have to have hepatitis C.
I don't need to, no. And I don't wanna.
No. I don't have to have hepatitis C.
I don't have to.
No. I give myself permission.
I give myself permission.
To separate from my mother.
To separate from my mother.
I give myself permission.
I give myself permission.
To separate from my mother.
To separate from my mother.
I release this emotional attachment.
I release this emotional attachment.
In every cell of my body.
In every cell of my body.
That I have felt towards what happened when I was 14.
That I have felt when that thing happened when I was 14.
Take a breath. How old are you now, Francesca?
45.
Okay.
45.
Yeah.
It's brutal.
It's time for me to let it go.
It's time for me to let it go.
This remaining hurt.
This remaining hurt.
Underneath the nipples. This remaining sadness.
This remaining sadness.
That's been sitting in my liver.
Has been sitting in my liver. Yeah.
Sitting in my heart.
In my heart.
And in my stomach.
And in my stomach.
Yeah. I give myself permission to let it go.
I give myself permission to let it go. And I'm getting movement there. In my stomach, I mean.
Oh, good.
Yes.
It's moving. Nice. Okay. So what I want you to do is take a deep breath. And let's check in again. How strong is the sadness?
I want to say between a 7 and an 8.
Okay. And the hurt?
Around the same, maybe a 9. It oscillates a little.
Okay, so let's continue tapping because I want to get you in a place where you're able to be a resource for your younger self. Okay, top of the head. All this remaining hurt.
All this remaining hurt.
I
like to hang on to things sometimes.
Yeah.
It's like in the sense that my body takes a little bit of time to adjust to the new idea.
Yeah. Yeah.
We're not all like that.
I'm open to giving my body all the time it needs.
I'm open to giving my body all the time it needs.
And I get to notice.
And I get to notice.
That this hurt has gone down by about 20%.
That this hurt has gone down by about 20%.
So even if we don't do anything else today.
So even if we don't do anything else today.
We've accomplished something.
We have accomplished a lot.
And take a breath.
And I want to say I didn't even remember this event until 2 weeks ago. Just
okay.
So everybody knows how it was there, but I didn't even remember it consciously.
Underneath the eyes. Doing great. Take another breath. If it went down 20%.
If it went down 20%.
Underneath the nose, it's changeable.
It's changeable.
It's movable.
It's movable.
It's decreasable.
It's decreasable.
And it's releasable.
And it's releasable.
Chin point. So maybe it's not a life sentence.
So maybe it's not a life sentence.
After all, it's only been bugging me for 2 weeks.
After all, it's only been bugging me for 2 weeks.
At least as far as I can remember.
Yeah, at least as far as I can remember.
So maybe I don't have to let it bug me anymore.
Maybe I don't have to let it bug me anymore. No.
Maybe I can say more about my mom.
Maybe I can say more about my mom.
Than about me.
Than about me.
Maybe it's not about me at all.
No, it's not about me at all.
Maybe it's about my mom and her wounds.
Yep. And me feeling them.
Yep. And maybe it's about how my my mother is unable to be happy herself underneath your arm, your nipples.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I felt jealousy from her.
Yeah.
When I was skinny and sporty, but she didn't want to be like that. I could feel that. It's just she couldn't do anything else.
Yeah. Take a breath. But I can do something else.
I can do something else.
Behind the ears. I can let all this sadness and resentment go.
I can let all the sadness and resentment go.
Top of the head. I can forgive my mother for not being the mother I wish I had.
I can forgive my mother for not being the mother I wish I had. I have resentment there.
I understand that. So remind me, did you say her mother died when she was 7 or 9 or something?
No, her mom's mom died.
Her grandmother died.
So,
okay. Right.
So no, when her mom was 9, her mom's mom died.
Okay.
And that was just before the Second World War.
Yeah, take a breath.
So my grandma was, I'm sure, emotionally stunted. She was a great woman, but she had so a lot of the things my mom would say to me, my grandma probably said to me when I was with her.
Yes.
And it's like a repeat. And the way I figured it out was when I was talking to my dogs, they were bad, and I used the same phrase, even though my logical self would have never done that. So I caught myself, and then I started putting it together. I was like, oh.
Take a breath. My mother's grandmother.
My mother's grandmother.
Died when my grandmother was 9.
Died when my grandmother was 9. Yeah.
Yeah. Take a breath.
She became the woman.
So my grandmother did not have a chance to grow up.
No, she was alone, and she was the mom, the new woman.
Yeah. Take a breath. So she didn't know how to be a mom.
No.
Say that. She didn't know how to be a mom.
She didn't know how to be a mom.
So she didn't teach her daughter how to be a mom.
She taught her daughter all the wrong things on how to be a mom.
Yeah, take a breath. And now heart chakra. Now it's my turn.
And now it's my turn.
To mother myself.
To mother myself. Yeah, that's where I have a lot of resentment toward.
In a different way.
In a different way.
My mother did the best she knew how to do.
My mother did the best she knew how to do.
Based upon what she had been taught.
Based upon what she had been taught.
If my mother had been taught something different.
If my mother had been taught something different.
She might have been different.
She would have for sure been different. She tried.
Yeah.
She really tried.
So maybe it's okay.
So maybe it's okay.
To forgive her a little bit.
Forgive her a little bit.
For not knowing what she didn't know.
Not knowing what she didn't know.
She didn't know how to be a good mom.
She didn't know how to be a good mom.
Take a breath. And I've got all this resentment underneath your nose.
And I have all this resentment.
Because of that.
Because of that.
Maybe it's time.
Maybe it's time.
To forgive myself for holding on to all this resentment.
To forgive myself for holding on to all this resentment. You read my mind. That's just what I thought right now, really. I was like, I'm really resentful toward myself because my adult self does not feel anger and stuff toward her. That's where the sadness is, that I feel sadness that my young self feels like that because my mom did her best. But I understand my young self and I don't know how to help her.
Well, fortunately for you, I have some ideas.
Yes, exactly, yes.
All this remaining resentment.
All the remaining resentment.
In your heart chakra. Towards myself.
Toward myself.
And towards my mother.
And towards my mother.
And towards my grandmother.
And towards my grandmother, that I just realized a month ago I had, by the way, with my grandmother.
And towards my great-grandmother.
Yeah, my great-grandmother. I never even thought of her.
All this intergenerational resentment.
All this intergenerational resentment.
That I have been holding on to.
That I have been holding on to.
In every cell of my body.
Yeah, in every cell of my body.
I give myself permission.
I give myself permission.
To let some of it go now.
Just let some of it go now. I can't speak.
Yeah. Take another breath. Holding on to this resentment.
Holding on to this resentment.
Hasn't helped me.
Hasn't helped me.
In any way.
In any way.
If I thought holding on to it.
If I find I'm holding on to it.
Was helping me.
Was helping me.
Or anybody else.
Or anybody else.
There'd be a reason to hold on to it.
There'd be a reason to hold on to it.
And take another breath. All this sadness.
All this sadness.
And all the meanings I've given to that incident around the basketball cup.
And all the meaning I have given it to this event, to this volleyball cup stupid thing.
Yeah. Maybe it's time to release it from my brain and my body now.
Maybe it's time to release it from my brain and my body now.
Maybe I've held on to it for long enough.
Yeah, I held on to it for long enough.
Maybe I could tell a different story.
Maybe I could tell a different story.
Like how great a captain I was even at 5'3".
Yeah, I kicked butt. I was scary. But I just enjoyed the game. That's why. I truly loved the game.
Maybe what I could remember.
Maybe what I could remember.
Is how much I loved the game.
How much I love the game.
I really love the game.
Yes, I love the game.
Okay, let's check in and see how you're feeling now. And take some water.
Yeah, really. You need to drink when you do this kind of work.
So what number is the resentment?
I want to say it's a 5.
Okay. What
I
number?
don't know if it moved or not. I don't remember, honestly.
Okay. Does it feel the same as it did before we started the last round, or less or more?
It feels like it's less, but 5 is the number that comes to me.
Okay. The sadness, what number is that?
That's gone down to a 5.
Okay. And how about the hurt?
That's between 8 and 9.
Okay.
That's my big problem. Every time I think about this stuff, it's like I feel this thing going through my heart. And I don't know why. Like, that's where I just stop being, I am triggered then.
Okay. The anger.
So I'm tapping right now so I don't get triggered, because really it's just unbelievably fast.
Okay. Anger, 0 to 10.
It's a 3.
Okay. Okay.
I worked for 8 months on my anger.
Okay. Top of the head. I get to notice
I get to notice
that my anger went from an 8 to a 3.
that my anger went from an 8 to a 3.
And my sadness has gone from a 10 to a 5.
And my sadness has gone from a 10 to a 5. It's half. Yes.
Yeah.
I feel way better, in fact.
Yeah. I'm feeling way better.
I'm feeling way better.
And I'm open to the possibility I can feel even better.
And I'm open to the possibility that I can feel even better. I feel like the resentment is attached to the hurt so much.
Yeah. Yeah.
You know, it's like this. I have resentment, so I don't forget how much it hurt me, so they don't do it again.
Okay.
That's the main thing, because it hurts so much.
Okay. So I'm holding on to my resentment.
I'm holding on to my resentment.
So that I can't get hurt again.
So that I can't get hurt again. Which is not true, by the way. I know that logically.
But maybe it's possible.
Maybe it's possible.
Underneath the eye. But my holding on to this resentment.
That my holding on to this resentment.
Is hurting me.
Oh yeah, it's hurting me.
This is what's hurting me.
This is what's hurting me.
If I thought holding on to my resentment.
If I stop holding on to this resentment.
If I thought holding on to this resentment.
If I thought.
Yeah.
Holding on to this resentment. Yeah.
Was actually going to help me feel better.
No, I feel like crap, really.
Yeah. Yeah. So I'm open.
That's where the black thing comes in. Every time I feel resentment, I feel that black cloud and Holocaust comes to my mind. You know? Burning ovens. Honestly, like, it's the darkest thing I feel inside of me. Hitler. There you go. That's a good one. Really, like, that's the stuff I studied comes right back.
So stop and take a breath.
Horrible.
Yeah. So I'm open to the possibility.
I'm open to the possibility.
That what I'm feeling right now.
That what I'm feeling right now.
Is not just about this one incident.
It's not just about this one incident.
And heart chakra. And I'm open to the possibility.
And I'm open to the possibility.
That working on my younger self.
That working on my younger self.
About this incident.
About this incident.
We'll start loosening it up for all other incidents.
We'll start loosening it up for all other incidents.
I've been holding on to these feelings for a long time.
I've been holding on to these feelings for a long time.
And at least some of them have gone down 50%.
At least some of them have gone down 50%. Yes, it's amazing.
And maybe it's time. I do the wrist point sometimes. Maybe it's time. Maybe it's time.
Maybe it's time.
To go back in time.
To go back in time.
To work with my younger self.
To work with my younger, angry self.
And take a breath. So I want to check in with you, and I'm going to just want to say that I wouldn't ordinarily go back in time with somebody, especially a new client, but because you're an EFT practitioner, I'm doing this. Ordinarily, I would get the SUDS level quite a bit lower. So I'm going to ask you if you feel like you can be there for your 14-year-old self.
I think so. And if I'm not able to,
I'll bring you back out.
I'm not scared. Like, reactions for me are welcome.
Okay.
Because I want to remember and I want to get over it so much. I just haven't been able to, that's all.
So let's see if we can't go and help your 14-year-old self. So I'd like you to imagine your higher self going back in time.
Yes.
And I'd like you to close your eyes and to start tapping on those finger points that I showed you on either side of your nail bed.
Okay. And it's both sides, right? Like.
Well, yeah. It's not, but that's a good way of explaining it. Because one of the fingers, it's on the other side, and so anyway, don't worry about it. If you go both sides, you get it all.
Yeah, okay. And then I'll learn I'm a doer, and then I learn the theory. I like to feel it. Yeah.
Perfect.
That's how I learn.
On my website, I have a EFT tapping journal and guide, and it's got information about all the points, so you can look them up.
That's right.
Okay, so take a breath, close your eyes, and I want you to see your younger self at that game. I want you to see her pushing her friend forward to go and get the cup. And then I want you to see her going back to her mom and her dad, who are at the game, which is pretty cool because they haven't been at the game. And mom has said in front of everyone, why didn't you go and get the cup? Is that what she said?
Yeah, she said, you let her go and get the cup. Why?
Okay, so stop and take a breath. Okay, so I'd like your higher self to freeze everybody else at the game, including your mom and your dad. And I'd like your higher self to introduce herself to your younger self and let her know that she's come from the future to support your younger self, because you know that this was not an easy moment in your younger self's life. Okay. Are you okay to continue?
Oh, yeah.
Okay, taking a breath. I would like your higher self to ask your younger self if she's open to receiving your support. Okay. So briefly tell your younger self about tapping. And let her know that whatever it is that she's feeling, tapping might be able to help her feel better. And ask her if she's willing to do some tapping.
Yeah.
Okay. Ask her to tell you what she's feeling right now.
Confused.
Okay. What is she confused about?
Why she focused on the one thing that didn't go the way she wanted to?
Okay.
When it was my moment, not hers. She should have just been happy for me.
Okay.
That's what mom does. Supposed to love you unconditionally. And that's what I felt as a child. I couldn't understand that.
Okay. So given that she's feeling this feeling, it's about why mom is focused on this one thing, ask her if she's telling herself anything about what that means about her.
She just felt like these people did not get her and were not really supporting her in her journey,
Okay. And when she thinks that thought, what does she feel?
She feels angry because it's an injustice.
Okay. How angry is she? Explain to her the 0 to 10 scale.
She's like an 8, a 6 and 8.
6 to 8.
Yeah.
Okay, and ask her to notice if she's feeling that anger anywhere in particular in her body.
Her heart.
Okay. Can she describe the sensation in her heart?
It's broken, but not like my adult self. It's broken and combative. She's like a Valkyrie, you know? She fights for peace. So that's what has been feeling inside. She feels it's wrong and she wants to fight them and make them understand
Okay.
that it's not okay. She believes she can change because she doesn't understand she can't change others, right? She's young.
So she's angry. What else is she feeling? Anything else?
And she's confused because
Right.
they should really just be happy and celebrating instead of pointing out the one thing that they didn't approve of.
And how confused is she, 0 to 10?
Yeah, that's a 10.
Okay. So let's do a little tapping with her.
Okay.
Okay. So reach out and ask her for her hand. Close your eyes. And ask her to repeat after you and let her know that she doesn't have to do anything she doesn't want to do. If the words don't fit, to let you know what the words are that would fit. And if she wants to stop at any point, she's totally okay to stop. And take a breath, both of you. Even though you're feeling confused and angry,
you're feeling confused and angry,
you deserve to know
you deserve to know
that even if some people don't recognize it,
that even if some people don't recognize it,
you did a really good job.
You did a really good job.
And take a breath. So what I'd like you to do is I'd like you to freeze your younger self for just a moment. Open up your eyes. Tap on your head. I did a really good job.
I did a really good job.
Third eye. I did a really good job.
I did a really good job.
I was a really good volleyball player.
I was a really good volleyball player.
Which is pretty amazing given that I'm 5'3".
Which is pretty amazing even though I'm 5'3", yeah.
I did a really good job.
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 I did such a good job.
I did such a good job.
That my team made me captain.
That my team made me captain. You know what hurt the most? Is that at 5'3", I never had a chance to go into anything serious, and I knew that. So for me, when they did that, because my dad didn't do it as much, but he never cared. I just felt like, you know, they didn't even give me that little bit, you know? I had to accept the 14 that I could never go into serious sport, and that was one of my biggest dreams.
I'm a good athlete.
Yeah, I was a good athlete.
I was a really good athlete.
I was a really good athlete. I enjoyed it.
I really loved being an athlete.
I really loved being an athlete, and I was a good captain. I was driving them. I wasn't putting them down. I was always making them feel good because, you know, that's how you behave. It's a team play.
I gave to my team.
I gave to my team.
What I wanted for myself.
What I want for myself, yeah.
Yeah.
Always.
And now I get to give to myself.
And now I get to give to myself.
What I wanted for myself.
What I wanted for myself.
I was a really good player.
I was a really good player.
I was a really good team player.
I was a really good team player.
I was a really good captain.
I was a really good captain.
Take a breath underneath the eye. I did a really good job.
I did a really good job.
Underneath the nose. I did a really good job.
I did a really good job.
My team won that game.
My win won the whole tournament.
The whole tournament.
Yeah.
And I get to be proud about that.
And I get to be proud about that.
My team My team won the whole tournament.
My team won. We won. We won. We were so good.
And I get to be proud about that.
And I get to be proud about that.
Even
I
if
brought them together. That's what I did.
I brought them together.
And I made them believe in themselves, because some of them were so mistreated by their parents because they weren't very good. And they didn't like me, some of them, because their parents were picking on them, you know, and comparing them. But I wasn't doing that. And then in the end.
So take a breath, check in. I want you to notice that there's somebody here with you. Look at the screen. See me okay?
Yeah, you're there.
I did a really good job.
I did a really good job.
Which is amazing given how I was parented.
Which is amazing given how I was parented, yeah, in a way.
I gave them what I needed.
I gave them what I needed.
And now it's my turn.
And now it's my turn.
To give it to myself.
To give it to myself.
To give my younger self what I wish my mother had been able to give.
To give to my younger self what I wish my mom would have been able to give to me.
Underneath the nipples. For whatever reason, she was not able to do that.
For whatever reason, she was not able to do that. Because her dad picked on her. That's why. She wasn't sporty. And her dad, I took after her dad. He could do anything. And so I think that's why, personally.
Yeah.
I feel that. I mean.
So maybe it has nothing to do with me.
So maybe it has nothing to do with me. I think I bother her because of that. I hurt her, you know?
Yeah. Well, you trigger her.
Yeah. That's right.
Maybe
I was dealing with their child self.
Yes.
That's what it is.
And my dear, you still are.
I know.
Because she's wounded.
I know.
Okay.
And not always, but I know when she is. I can tell.
So take a breath. My mother was wounded by her father.
My mother was wounded by her father.
Who was athletic.
Who was very athletic.
Yeah. My mother is not athletic.
No, she's all brain.
Yeah. And my grandfather picked on her.
Oh, yeah, relentlessly.
My grandfather picked on her.
My grandfather picked on her. He told her she was tone deaf, even. He could sing very well.
Yeah.
He stunted her in so many ways. Because he was too emotionally stunted.
Right.
It's generational, really, on both sides of my parents.
So this is intergenerational.
Yep. This is intergenerational.
And it's time it stopped.
Yeah, it's going to stop with me.
Yeah. This is stopping with me.
It's stopping with me.
I'm open to the possibility.
I'm open to the possibility.
That I can forgive my mother.
That I can forgive my mother.
For reacting from her own hurt place.
From reacting for her own whole hurt place, yeah. Sorry, I screwed that up, guys. You know what I mean?
My mother reacted from her own hurt place.
My mother reacted from her own hurt place, for sure.
And she probably reacted from her own resentful place, too.
Oh, yes. She was hurt and she reacted.
Yeah.
In that way.
And she was probably angry, too.
Yeah, she was probably angry at my dad, too.
Yeah.
Because he was always doing something similar to her.
Yeah. So maybe it's time to forgive my mom.
Yeah, she was picked on a lot because she was overweight.
Maybe it's time.
Thyroid problem.
Maybe it's time
To forgive my mom.
Yeah. Put your hands on your heart.
And I want to forgive her.
Okay. Close your
I
eyes.
think that's the hurt and sadness.
Close your eyes.
That.
So, are you familiar with the Honobono Prayer?
Oh, yeah. I just don't remember ever the order.
Doesn't matter. Order doesn't matter.
I don't remember. Like, I have to read the words
to
remember them. I'm so bad.
I love you, Mom.
I love you, Mom.
I'm so sorry.
I'm so sorry.
Please forgive me.
Please forgive me.
And thank you.
And thank you.
I love you, Mom.
I love you, Mom.
I'm so sorry.
I'm so sorry.
Please forgive me.
Please forgive me.
And thank you.
And thank you.
Now take a deep breath.
When I say please forgive me, I
Yeah.
feel resentment.
Yeah. Okay, now we're going to do it for you. I love you, Francesca.
I love you, Francesca.
I'm so sorry.
I am so sorry.
Please forgive me.
Please forgive me.
And thank you.
And thank you.
And take a deep breath. I love you, Francesca.
I love you, Francesca.
I am so sorry.
I am so sorry.
Sorry for all the ways that I've held on to all this anger and hurt and resentment.
Sorry for all these different ways I've held on to all this anger and resentment and hurt.
And sadness.
And sadness.
Please forgive me.
Please forgive me.
Thank you.
Thank you. Wow, and I said, please forgive me. That felt good.
Nice. Okay.
Like it never felt good before.
Hey, there's a first for everything, right?
Yeah, laughing is good. When I laugh, it means I'm moving it out.
Yeah,
In a good way.
nice.
So funny.
Okay, so let's check in. Okay, how strong is the resentment?
It's a 3.
Wow,
That's amazing. Holy
very
shit.
cool.
It was like a 10 forever for me, that thing.
Okay,
This dark cloud.
so what number is the sadness?
That's a 2.
What number is the hurt?
5.
What number is the anger?
I want to say a 3, but I know it's a 0.
Okay. Well,
Yeah,
hold on to that darn stuff, eh?
It's my system. It's like, yeah, I mean, anger has been what has saved me all my life
Right.
from all the crappy situation where I was in life or death. That's why.
Okay. All right, put your hands on your heart, and I just want you to notice how differently you're feeling.
Oh, I feel so light now compared to before. And I no longer have that image of my heart being broken like before. Now it's kind of like a rosy mush of light, not
Nice.
very rosy, not very red blood anymore.
Okay.
It's healing. And the darkness, the light thing, I don't see the black dot anymore there. It's more, I feel a little the feeling of the pit, but I no longer have a visual, which is good.
Nice. Okay.
It's moving. And I know there is more work to do because I can feel it in my solar plexus.
Okay, so take a breath. And I want you to go back to your finger points.
Okay.
And let's go back in and check in with your 14-year-old self. And I want to see how she's feeling right now. Ask her and wait for her to let you know.
Okay. She's relieved. She's relieved to know that just because that she always thought her parents were everything and whatever they said was the truth.
Mm-hmm.
She's relieved to know that it's not the case. Oh my God.
Okay.
What a cheeky one. But she's not being cheeky. It's just, she's driven and she can see what she wants. That's the thing.
Okay. Ask her if there's anything that she would like to say or do differently from what she said or did.
She wishes that after the game, she could have gone to her mom and explained to her how she felt. Instead of, all she did was she kept it inside and never said anything about this, which is highly unusual for her. Usually if she didn't like something, she found it unjust, she would say something.
Okay.
But when it was about her, she was always quiet, actually. She would always protect everybody else around her.
Okay. Is there anything that you or your higher self would like to say to her?
Yeah, she's gonna start healing now because I'm here.
Okay.
I think I have a better idea how to mother her.
Nice.
And I was really angry about having to mother her before.
Yes.
Because it just felt so unjust.
Well, it was unjust.
Yeah, but the other part of me was like, yeah, but what could she do? This woman was like deeply wounded. She didn't want to hurt me. She was just unable.
So I would like you and your higher self and or your current self and your younger self to find a spot to be with mom. And to tell mom what it is that your younger self wanted her to know and what your current and or higher self wants her to know. And do that in whatever, using whatever words make sense to the three of you to say. And then let me know when that's been done. Take some breaths while you do that.
I want to say it. Like,
say it out loud?
Yeah.
Go for it.
I don't know why. I just like to share.
Perfect. Go for it.
Yeah. My child, my 14-year-old is telling her how she's feeling and how she understands why she did it, but it hurt her. And my mom is saying that she didn't know any better. She didn't mean to hurt me. She was trying to push me because she thinks I deserve better. And I always, it's true, I always try and be in the corner. I don't want to be in the center of attention. I hate it. I hate it so much. And that's all they wanted to do. They wanted to be showing me off. And I tell her, you should love me for who I am, not for what you can show others. And then my higher self is telling them both that it's okay. They're good people, and they just were emotionally stunted, and they've done their best, and it's time to move on and forgive themselves.
Nice.
They hurt themselves more than anyone else because they're so hard on themselves. And they didn't do it.
Like they taught their daughter something, eh?
Yeah. They didn't want to be selfish. They just didn't know how else to be. That's the thing.
So take a breath. Let's check in with your younger self again and see how she's feeling.
She just wants to hug her.
Okay. So let's have a hug.
I'll hug them both because I'm way bigger.
Okay. Hug everybody. Have everybody hug everybody.
That's right.
Hugs all around.
I'm the tiny big person.
Nice.
Yeah, it's funny. I always see people smaller than they are for some reason. I always feel like I'm taller. I don't know why.
So take a breath. Let's check in with your younger self and ask her if there's anything else that she needs to say, do, or have happen.
No, she said that now she knows she has someone in her corner, finally. So she feels good. That's all she ever needed.
Nice.
She knows she had the numbers. She just never had that one person really, really being there for her. on her side and guiding her and being, you know, a mentor.
Okay. So what I'm going to ask you two to do is to come up with a signal, some sort of signal that she can use to get your attention if she needs you.
7.
7, did you say?
Yep.
So just say 7?
Yep.
Okay. Okay, so every time she says 7, you're going to show up for her.
Yep.
Okay, so I'd like you to close your eyes and I'd like you to see her testing that. I'd like you to leave her, say goodbye, give her a hug, go away, and then I'd like her to just go 7, and there you are.
Yep, I'm tapping.
Okay, cool.
I'm tapping every time.
And ask her how she's feeling now.
She feels like a champion.
Nice. Nice.
Oh.
Ask her how hurt she's feeling. Close your eyes, check in with her.
She's a 0.
Well, okay. How about resentment?
It's a 0 too.
Sadness
It's a 1.
and anger.
That's a 0.
Okay. Thank her very much for her willingness to work with you. Give her a hug. And when you're ready, come back to the present day.
And the hurt is 1 too.
Okay.
Yeah, the hurt is 1.
Okay.
And she likes hugging.
All right. Huge hug can last as long as she wants. And when she's ready to let you go, you come back to the present day.
Oh boy. Oh, that was so good.
So take a deep breath. Put your hands on your heart.
It feels like it's empty now, like something has been removed from it.
Nice.
Yeah, I have this empty space. Now I can feel with love instead.
Nice.
Yeah.
So I just want to check in with your present day self. How strong is your hurt?
It's a 3.
Okay. How strong is your resentment?
It's a 1. A
And your
0 or a 1.
Okay. Sadness?
Sadness is a 2.
Okay. And how about anger?
It's a 2.
Okay.
It's funny. I just see numbers. Like when they just, so I don't question them anymore. I just go with it.
Okay, so we're going to end the recording shortly, but I want to thank you for your willingness to do this work and to do this work being recorded. And I want to give you a really big virtual hug.
Yeah, thank you. And I want to thank you for helping me with this, because it really, I want to show people how you can really recover from anything.
Okay, thank you so much.
Thank you.